It's about how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward. How much you can take and keep moving forward.
You want something, go get it, period.
You gotta keep moving, let's go. Don't quit until you got nothing left.
This is where we have been, this is how we got here, this is who we are.
Life moves pretty fast. You don't stop and look around once in a while, you could miss it.
You're listening to the Hustle Indie Show, where we seek out some of Indie's most hustling people and places to learn about what they do, how they got started, and where they're going. Sit back and enjoy the show.
What is up, Hustle Indie Show listeners? I'm Brendan Helm, joined as always by the wonderful Ian D. Felice. How are you doing today?
I'm doing phenomenal.
Super excited for today's episode with you all. This is episode number, is this 3 or 4?
I think it's 3.
This is episode 3. We should have probably planned this out before we rolled the intro, but hey, that's what we're about here. This is episode 3. We have such an awesome guest with us today in the studio. We got to have someone who has had a nice upbringing that has really challenged him and put him in a position in life where he had to really make decisions that were make or break. And it was just a really, really good interview, a really good time to sit down and reflect on his life, where he's been, where he's going, and just learn from someone who has been through it all, really. And I was really encouraged by this interview.
Yeah. John Nelson, he's the founder of the Block podcast. His life story and this podcast is inspirational, to say the least. Definitely, I am fired up to get going and get out there and start working because of listening to this, and just such a positive life view that this guy has, and I'm very excited to share it with you guys because this is definitely one of my favorites.
Yeah, it was just, sitting here and listening was, I feel blessed to even be a part of this interview, let alone be able to share it with others. So really excited to share this episode with you guys. Make sure you guys subscribe, like all of our stuff, share this with your friends. We want to highlight all of these people, make sure that their stories get heard, their businesses, their podcasts, whatever it is they're doing. We want them to be known, and that's what this is all about. So make sure you guys are doing that for us, for them. Let's just dive right into it. Real excited for this episode. Sit back and enjoy the show.
Hey everyone, before we start this episode, I just want to give a huge shout out and thanks to our partner of this week's Platinum Package, Circle City Metalworks. They have partnered with us, and they're located in the Circle City Industrial Complex downtown, and they do anything between little art designs like this keychain of Indiana here, or a little bit bigger of a design of the Indianapolis skyline, all the way to handrails and AC cages. So whatever your needs are, anything metal related, they can make it. If you can dream it, they can make it. So if you're interested in any of their products, you can either go to their website, circlecitymetalworks.com, or any of their Facebook, Instagram, social media pages, Circle City Metalworks. Thank you so much. Let's get into the episode.
All right. Well, hello, Hustle Indie Show listeners. I'm Brendan Helm. We've got another awesome episode today. We have CEO, founder of the Block podcast with us. We are super excited to get in, learn more about his story, learn about where he's come from and where he's going. So, John, we would like to welcome you to the Hustle Indie Show.
Welcome, John.
Man, thank you, man. Thank you guys for having me.
Absolutely.
Man, I appreciate you taking the time
to
sit down with me.
Any opportunity we get to learn more about some awesome people, we take it. So we're real excited to learn more about this.
I appreciate it. I like you guys' show, man, that you're looking out for the people out here, the movers and shakers.
We do our
absolutely.
best.
Movers and shakers,
Yeah, how's your day been so far?
It's good, man. It's good. I really haven't done nothing. I've been kind of lounging, I was in the studio for a little bit, but other than that, that's been pretty good today. How you guys doing?
Excellent.
I'm doing better than I deserve.
Yes.
Better than I deserve.
Yes.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Better than I deserve.
Yeah. Let's jump right into it. So, tell us a little bit about who you are, what you're known for, and where you came from.
Okay. I would say my name is John Nelson. I am the CEO, founder of the Block podcast. I am originally from Indianapolis, Indiana, born and raised.
Which part?
West Side.
Cool. Gotcha.
West Side.
Awesome.
So, I went to school on the West Side, George Washington High School. I graduated in 1988, long time ago. And I didn't go to college right after. I did the. I'm gonna sit out a year.
Smart. Yeah.
No, that was not
Oh,
smart. 25 years later, I decided to go to college.
Really?
Yes.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, so that was
That's awesome.
1 plus 24. That's not what I had planned.
Yeah.
So I don't advise that to anyone.
Interesting.
Don't do that.
All right.
If you're gonna go. But yeah, I'm originally from here. I've lived in Houston, Texas.
Cool,
I've
cool.
lived in Florida. I've
Wow.
lived in Washington, Bremerton, Washington.
Wow.
So I've Illinois. So I've been around, but my majority of my time has been spent right here.
Cool. Awesome.
You know.
So what are you doing right now? What is your day-to-day? What's your hustle? What do you got going on right now?
Man, my day-to-day is insane because with trying to do the show and trying to actually have a real job for right now until, I become the Breakfast Club.
Sure.
Joe Rogan show, next
Yeah,
Joe
there
Rogan
you
show.
go. But for now, no, I am a forklift operator at a bottling plant.
Cool.
Awesome. I've actually been doing forklift. I've been driving forklift, man, for like 30 years.
Wow.
On and
Man.
off. Wow. Yeah, before I decided to go to college, after my
Gotcha.
trip off, and then I decided I would go to school for criminal justice.
Oh, awesome.
Okay.
And I went to Capital University for the associates, and then I turned around and went to Indiana Tech online for the bachelor's
Awesome.
degree.
Cool. So the Block Podcast, tell us a little bit about what that is. How long ago did it start? Just give us the whole rundown about the Block.
Okay. The Block Podcast essentially was going to be something else. It was going to be the 4OGs podcast. And it was an idea of mine. It was me and 3 of my friends, older guys like myself that, have come up, in the urban community in Indianapolis.
Yeah.
And I just thought it would be a really good idea, and it would be a lot of experience and wisdom with those guys and being able to reach out to the youth. And that was the initial drive for the podcast.
Gotcha.
But it didn't work out, and so I was already so invested.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Sure,
With
sure.
equipment and everything else, content and everything I had put into it, that I was like, well, okay, I got to do something. You know what I mean? Something's got to happen. So I decided, you know what? I'm doing it myself.
Awesome.
And so that's where the Block came from. The Block was actually a part of the 4OGs thing, and I just took that and put it on the Block.
Yeah.
But I'm from the Block, so
Gotcha.
it's perfect. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Cool.
And the Block is focused on entrepreneurial growth here in Indianapolis,
Okay.
as well as social issues that in the urban community.
Yeah.
And just really my main focus is to bring positive out.
Yeah.
Of you know what I mean?
I love that.
Of the urban community,
I love
instead of it always being something negative.
Always
Yeah.
pointing out something negative. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
When I know
absolutely.
that there's good that comes
Sure.
out.
Oh,
you know what
yeah.
I mean?
Sure.
So I just thought that would be
That's
kinda
awesome.
cool.
And I want to dive into the content of that in a little bit. Before we get there, before we get too far ahead, the 25 years before this all
Yes.
happened, can you give us a little
Yeah.
story of how the heck did we
Yeah.
get to this point, moving from Texas to Illinois, now all of a sudden back in Indy starting this podcast?
Well, like I said, I went to school for criminal justice.
Okay.
Reason being, I went to school for criminal justice, and I'm kind of going forward to go backward.
Sure.
Okay.
The reason why I went to school for criminal justice is because at that time, I knew I wanted to change in my life, and I knew I wanted to do something to try to better myself and take myself in a different direction, but I didn't know what.
Yeah.
And so I sat down and I was like, well, John, what are you good at? What do you know? Let's if we're gonna go to school, let's go to school for something that we already know, that we can add on to,
Yeah.
instead of walking like, I don't know anything about medical.
Right.
So for me to go to school to be a nurse is gonna be hard.
Yeah.
You know what I
Right.
mean? So
Yeah.
especially after, because you're thinking I'm 40 years old. So at this point,
Yeah.
So I'm already nervous about even going to school. Period.
Yeah.
Sure.
And so I'm thinking, well, what can I add on to?
Yeah, because
So
you
at
already
least
have
I'm
so
not-
much life
Yeah,
experience.
so at least I'm not walking
yes.
in blind.
Yeah.
Yep.
And fortunately, but unfortunately, due to my past, I was able to look back and say, well, John, you've been in trouble.
Yeah.
You know the law. Now, how you know it is not the greatest,
Sure.
example, but you know it nonetheless. You still have the knowledge, you still have the experience. Go to school for criminal justice.
Yeah.
There you
You
go.
already know something, you
Yeah.
might as well just add on to it. Mm-hmm. So, and that's what I did. And I did that, like I said, for the reason, because I wanted to, at that point, I had become clean and sober, and my life is, starting to make real sense. And so that's when I decided, if I'm gonna do this, then I'm gonna do it for a reason. And the reason is that I'm gonna go and take this knowledge and this experience that I have, and go back and help others. That was where I was.
That's awesome.
Because when I worked in, I was a correction officer also, and when I worked in corrections, I used to tell the guys all the time, you can't tell me you can't. You can tell anybody in here you want to that, but you can't tell me, because I am you, and I've done it. I'm sitting here, I'm looking at you, so you can't tell me you can't.
Right.
You know what I mean? And that was my drive. Is to show them better than I could tell them.
I love that. I love that.
How well did that kind of stuff, that message that you were trying to kind of implement into those that you were telling that message, like, don't tell me you can't.
Right.
How well did that take? Did you have a lot of pushback from that, or did you feel like you were actually making a change in these people's lives?
Well, I'll put it this way. One of the and if the facility I worked at was a level 1 facility, and they were residents.
Gotcha.
They were still incarcerated, but the language had changed to try to help them, to get the prison off of them as they go back into society, and so they were residents. And I've been to one of the residents' weddings last year.
That's awesome.
I've gotten several messages from different residents saying, thank you. I'm friends with probably 30 of them on Facebook.
That's so cool.
I talk with them all the time.
That's
That's got to be
powerful.
such a rewarding thing.
Yeah.
Just to be able to look back and say, man, that's awesome. That's really cool to hear about.
So then, bringing us back to now somewhat present day, or when. So actually, how old is this podcast? I don't remember.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yep. Let me get you there. Unbelievably, it is less than a year old.
Gotcha.
Wow. So you're in the same club as us.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Love
it's
it.
Less than
Love
a year
it.
old, and like I said, I'll dig into that. I said I did what I had to do to alter that situation,
Yeah.
and I came up with the block and the concept of that and how I wanted it to go, and I wanted to leave it open enough so that I could be able to reach out to anyone that is doing something positive for the urban community. So it doesn't matter if you're an upcoming comedian or if you're an upcoming lawyer.
Yep.
You're still bringing something positive to the urban community, and I can still speak with you.
Yeah.
Yes.
And so that's the premise, behind the block.
And that's very similar to kind of what our original thought was, like, we want to start some sort of podcast. We like the idea of talking to people, and we were trying to figure out, well, what should it be focused on? And we ended up being like, let's just talk about really whatever they want to talk about, and just leaving that open, because you don't want to narrow down the focus of it too much, because then you exclude a lot of people when you do that.
Exactly.
So it sounds like you're kind of on that same page, as letting people the life experiences and their knowledge and letting them share it with us.
Well, it's simple, and especially for you guys, it says it right in the title.
Yeah.
Indie. We both focused on indie.
Yes.
And that was, how can we get the most out of indie?
Yeah.
And that's pretty much how you use the hustle. That's that opens the gate.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If you're hustling in Indy, you're hustling in Indy. You
Yeah.
know, and the Block Podcast with how I did it is, you know,
I love that.
It leaves it open, you know, because I didn't want to miss, like you guys said, I didn't want to miss something that was good that I should have, you know, got to.
Sure.
Because of I'm stuck in this,
you're
you
stuck
know,
at
path, you know.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
So yeah.
So my question is, that's a great segue. How has Indy kind of helped shape who you are today, and where your plans to like moving on in the future? What role has Indy played in that?
Oh man, I want to say that Indy is the role. Indy is the role, man. I mean, there's not anywhere that I can't drive around the city that I don't have a memory. Now, whether it be good or bad, but I have a memory, you know. So it's I'm ingrained in Indianapolis.
Yeah.
It's you know, I mean, I can't. You know, most of my life is the memories are here.
Yeah.
You know, I have memories. You know, Houston or whatever. You know, but those are like we're talking 1-2 year spans. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But there's so much here. You know what I mean? And like I said, some of them are bad, you know what I mean? But a lot of them have been good, and a lot of them have been opportunities from individuals that I didn't expect. You know, during times when I really needed it.
Yeah.
And so to be able to create something like this and be able to give back to the city,
Yeah.
well, that's just...
kind of a
That's
win-win.
360, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's 360.
Yeah, and so what we've noticed too, and I'm sure you've noticed this as well, as you're starting to kind of highlight Indianapolis and the things that are going on and the different people that are happening, you start to feel how tight this community is.
Oh, yeah.
There's different sectors, there's different markets, there's different communities, but Indianapolis, it feels like more so than most, there's a kind of a value that comes to that word. Like if you're from Indy, you're from Indy.
Yeah.
And you know your people from Indy, whether they're from the east side, the west side, the south side, the north side. Like Indianapolis is, I think, especially during these times, starting to become this tight knit, and we're realizing how much we are better together. Yeah. How much, if I'm not good at something, someone else down the street might be better at it, and we can be better together.
Yeah.
And it's just been really rewarding.
I think that comes along with the younger generation. You know what I mean? You guys are creating a different, I don't want to say, a different way of living, which is more of that, like you said, you know, how can I help you? Hey, well, you know what? I know, you know, he does this. You know, I'm gonna put you. You know what I mean? You guys are more about that. You know what I mean? And I see that within the city. And that's a lot of where your movers and shakers come from. Is, you know what I mean, in the city, the one thing I know about this city is growing up in it is that the growth in this city, it don't stop. It don't ever stop. There's no one my age that can look back and go, man, this place is the exact same as it used to be. Ain't nobody. Nobody can say that. Not the downtown don't look nothing like it used to. Nowhere near it. You know, and I mean the living spaces. You know, everything. It's just, you know, Indianapolis is constantly growing. You know, that's you know, and we've found a way to be able to tap into that and find these individuals that are doing all this
and hopefully
really cool stuff.
And if not highlight them, motivate others to buy into this. Like there are people that have already bought into the fact that we need to work together. We need to figure out who can do this and kind of put the pieces together. And hopefully, doing so will help motivate others to do the same. That's the whole goal. I mean, the whole goal is to highlight awesome people, but also to bring more awesome people in to join the cause. It's really cool.
Man.
And we were just talking about it today. Like we really want to make sure that we connect, even just all the guests that we've already had. We're going to create some sort of forum or something where, you know, even if nothing else, their only connection is the fact that they've been with us. But you know, we've had we were talking today. We had a person that started his own nonprofit down in Bates Hendricks. We had another guy that started his own business. It's a nonprofit software company. It's like it's a natural connection that just happens.
Exactly.
And like, there's no reason that we shouldn't be able to put them together.
Exactly.
So
Exactly.
yeah, Indianapolis, it has that almost like a small townish feel. I mean, compared to like in Atlanta or Chicago, or it's just there is a difference here.
And that's it. I think it has that feel, but I think the separation really between Indianapolis and surrounding cities is that we don't have that star access.
Yeah, you're right.
You are right. Yeah.
If we just had a little bit more of that, you know what I mean? I'm not saying we had California. I mean, it's crazy, you know what I'm saying? But I'm just saying if we was kind of close to what Chicago even has a star, quality to it.
It does.
You know what I mean? That we don't even that we don't get. If we could get that, I think we're not far off, what I mean? Indianapolis is not far off from other cities. I just think, with us being centered the way we are, we're not
we're overlooked
really close
a lot
to nothing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
with your show and with your experience in the community in the Indianapolis area and also other areas, what have been some awesome connections that you've made? Have there been any that have stood out, like that have turned into partnerships, or what have you found to be a really rewarding connection that you've had through your experience with the block?
I think the most rewarding that I've received since I've started is probably just with the entrepreneurs, period. Just that they you know what I mean? Because being an entrepreneur, you know what I mean, you know that sometimes you're not going to get the support that you thought
especially
you
up
were going
front.
to get. Where you thought it was going to come from, it don't show up sometimes. And I believe that if you're an entrepreneur, then you felt that at some point. I don't care who you are, you felt it. I don't care who it was, your mom, it was your dad, it was whoever it was, you know what I mean, best friend, somebody. You was like, damn, well, wow. Really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. But I think as entrepreneurs, we know that. We know that feeling. I know that you've had it.
Yeah.
You know that I've had it.
Yeah.
I know that you've had it.
Yeah.
You know that he's had it. You know what I mean? And so for them to reach out, and say, man, thank you. Thank you for trying to help us, put us on the show and try to get us out there.
That's
Thank
awesome.
You.
Yeah.
It's one of them. It's one of them give and take things like you was talking about. It's a give and take. It's a two-way street. And it's just it's that feeling.
Yeah.
That helping each other out,
I
and
love
that's
that.
really what I think is the biggest connection. Is that I've had some really fun shows. I've had some fun times with guests. And we have a episode that we do called Urban Flavors.
Okay.
And Urban Flavors, basically, we like to go into the actual establishment.
I love that.
So instead of, the guests coming to our studio, we're gonna go in your restaurant.
Yeah.
We're gonna interview
That's
you
so
at
cool.
the restaurant.
That's
We're gonna sit
really
down, have
cool.
a plate of food. We're gonna talk about it. You
Yep.
know what I mean?
That's awesome.
And I've had some cool experiences from
That's
those.
so
I
cool.
love
Those,
that.
yeah.
That's
I
awesome.
love that idea. I love that
How
idea.
many episodes are you cranking out? A week, a month, a day? What's your schedule look like for all that?
Right now, I'm like probably 2 a month now.
Okay.
Yeah,
Cool.
Awesome.
That's about the best I can do because
Yeah.
right now, currently, I'm on my own.
Yeah.
Right now, so it's
Yeah,
everything that
It is a lot of work.
it's a lot of work.
People that watch
Everything-
these or listen to these have no idea what goes on. I mean, we have 3 cameras set up,
man, it's
the audio, the video, and then the editing.
and the crazy part is that this is the easy part.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No,
yeah, it is. It
This
is.
is the easy
This
part.
is the easiest part of the whole thing.
Yeah.
And I get
It's
to watch
as soon
him
as you
edit
cut
it.
this off is when it becomes
exactly.
real work.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. So I mean, but yeah, I've been able to do like two a month.
Cool.
I'm trying to reach out. I want to reach out and try to see if I can get me some help, maybe an intern or something.
Yeah.
To help me out. But I'm receiving good feedback for the show. I've been able to get my merchandise. And,
Really? That's awesome.
So cool. That's really cool.
I did see, so you actually had the guy that did the rap about Long's Donuts, didn't you? That is so cool.
Mr. Tevins the Stuttard.
That's so cool. That was awesome.
Yes, that was one of those good ones. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was really fun. Tevin is a really Tevin has it's a bubbly, happy.
Yeah.
I'm ready. Let's do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Type of inside, you know, and it just, you just have fun with him. You know what I mean? It just, you know, and because before I interviewed him, I thought, you know, guy's guy really puts it on, you know what I mean? But then when you meet him, you're like, when the camera's off, you're like, this dude's still, wow, okay, he's really, this is really like that.
Yeah.
Okay, cool, you know what I mean? So, but yeah, that was a really good interview.
That's
man.
awesome.
Yeah,
That's
that was
so cool.
really cool.
Yeah. So, what is the content of your podcast? So, for those that haven't seen it, what should they expect when they go to listen or watch your podcast?
Well, what you should expect is to keep in mind one thing, that you're on the block.
Gotcha.
Keep in mind you're on the block.
Yeah.
You know, and anything can happen on the block. You know, that's how it goes, you know. But I try to keep it, you know, I try to keep it professional, you know what I mean, if I can, you know.
Yeah.
You know, you might have some guests on, and language might get a little off to the side, you know. But it's cool though. Like I said, you're on the block, you know what I mean. And so, but I try to keep it, you know, together as best I can.
Gotcha.
You know what I mean?
So,
Just
do you usually? Is it usually like an interview style with them?
Yes.
Do you just talk to them? Okay,
yes,
cool.
Mine is I actually do the pre-questionnaire, and mine is more of a highlight you.
Cool.
You know, and I give my guests the opportunity to put out what they may important points.
Oh, cool.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, you know what I mean? If you went to school wherever, you wanted to make sure that you got that out there.
Right.
Yeah.
You get the opportunity to put that in the questionnaire, you know what I mean? And I could pull those out. Plus, create my own questions, you know, on top of that. So it's a good little vibe, little thing going, you know?
Cool.
So, but I got some really good ones coming out.
Really?
Yeah, I got some good ones coming out. Now, Mrs. Indiana.
Really?
That was a good one.
Love that.
Is that published yet, or?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah,
I'll have
that's
to go
up.
check it out.
Yeah. She's actually, what's today's date?
Today is
The 11th.
11th?
Yeah.
8 days.
Perfect.
Yeah,
Okay.
8 days she'll be going for Mrs. America.
Really?
Whoa.
Yeah.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah.
That's
you're
awesome.
You're Miss Indiana.
That's awesome.
Yeah, she's
That's really cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
So that was a really good one.
Awesome. What have been as you've mentioned like the struggle and the challenge of being by yourself and all of that stuff. What have been some of the biggest learning curves for you in working through this podcast and getting it going?
One of the biggest ones is don't listen to me. Don't listen to me. Because I'm the hardest on me.
I gotcha.
And I'm always gonna be the hardest critique. And there's sometimes when I need to shut up. Seriously, you know what I mean? Sometimes when I need to shut up and listen to someone say, "No, John, man, you did a good job, dude.
Yeah.
You really did." You know what I mean? And it's hard. But I'm not wired like that. So, you know what I mean? It's hard for me to. I want to say, "Yeah, but I could have."
You could have done better.
Yeah, you know.
Yep.
And that's one of the biggest things, man, is just getting out of my own way.
Yeah.
And allowing other people to say, "Hey, dude, you're doing okay."
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
And that, and if you're thinking about doing anything like this, and I say this, if you're thinking about doing anything that involves a camera, now I'll just put that out there like that. Whatever podcast, whatever it is that you're thinking about, you need to know how to read the future. That is one of the biggest things when it comes to this here, is being able to look down the road and see what's coming.
In what way?
I'll be sitting down with my friend, my best friend of over 30 years, and I will be holding a podcast with him, just going over our friendship. The reason being is because Friendships Day is in March. Or May, I think.
Yeah.
March or May. Yeah. Best Friend Day. I'll release the show on Best Friend Day.
Love that.
Yeah.
In the future. You got to be thinking in the future. because if you're not, you know what I mean? Like the NCAA's coming up. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? If you're not thinking in the future, well, you're hit.
Yep.
You're not walking up on the NCAA a weekend, before the tournament talking about, hey, I'd like to do, we don't care what you like to do. We got things going on. This already been planned. You were late. Mm-hmm. You should have been on that a couple of months ago.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So you have to stay in the future. Mm-hmm. That was one of the biggest things that I needed to learn, was to be able to stop thinking about what's going on right now and think about wait a minute, what about that? What about that? What about that?
Yeah.
And that's really helped me.
We definitely had to overcome that as well ourselves, because we were realizing we had started to record, I think, 5 or 6 episodes in advance.
It was a lot, yeah.
And so there was a point in time towards the end of 2020 where we were like, we hadn't recorded a podcast in almost 2 months, 3 months even.
It was a long time.
And they were airing 3 months after they had been recorded.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And so, like, we realized, like, dang, we've got to start thinking about, okay, this is going to be recorded now. It's going to be aired in December. So this is going to be around Christmas time. So we have to say something about Christmas. So, like, it's definitely something you don't think about.
No, you don't. You don't. I mean, even your guests.
Yep.
You check with your guests. Say, hey, do you got anything coming up? That you would want to.
Right.
You know what I mean? So maybe I can get this out before that happens, so it could help bump up that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right.
It's just it's always, you got to think forward. That's just like I said. If it's involving a camera, you got to think forward.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
absolutely.
So, talking of thinking forward, what is your plans for, we'll just say, this year to start with? Do you have any plans for the growth of this podcast in any sort of way, and how are you going to implement that?
Yes. My biggest one is, and I've been really working on this. And this is one of them self-discipline things that I'm just not used to, but I'm trying to make myself get used to, is training myself to focus more on the business side versus the working side.
The content kind of side?
Yeah.
Interesting.
And the reason being is because in order to be a good CEO, you need to be able to wave back and forth. You know what I mean? You be able to dictate, to managers, whatever, if you have them, whatever. But in this case, that's not what it is. It's just me. So I have to be able to dictate myself, to say, whoa, John, wait a minute, we ain't did nothing. You ain't did nothing what you're supposed to be doing on your merch.
Yeah.
You've been over here editing like you're a fool. But that's not the only thing.
Yeah.
There's more to it, John.
Balance.
And that's really been one of the things, man, that I'm going into 2021. I'm really pushing that up here on myself, is to make sure that I keep that, because I don't want to lose focus and get so caught up in the production that, you know what I mean? Because if it's not making, dollars, it ain't make sense.
I totally understand. So I'm a real estate agent, and I do a lot of stuff with FS houses.
Okay.
I do a lot of the marketing and property management stuff as well. And so this year I'm really focusing on being more of just an agent, helping people buy and sell. But I know myself that I have the tendency to kind of get focused on one thing and really go after it. And maybe I'm doing it really well, but there are some other things like, oh crap, well I forgot to post something on Instagram. It's so easy to get caught up, because you're like, oh wow, I'm succeeding. It's like, sure, you can succeed in one area, but if you're not succeeding in the others, you're not getting that full completion of what you could be.
Especially if you're the one that's in charge of, like, your schedule. So if you are an entrepreneur, a go-getter, a motivator, like, if you are the one who wakes up in the morning and says, what do I need to do today? It can be really easy to say, oh man, I'm super excited to learn this new streaming box, like, and spend 3 days doing that. Forget about the 97% other stuff that has to get done. Like, it's a big deal. Like, it's hard. It really is. And people don't think about that until they're too far in. And then you get 3 days in doing one thing and you're like, hindsight's 20/20, but it's tough to get that discipline, and I'm real excited to see.
How do you do that? Because I definitely need some advice on that.
Well, and I'll go back to when I got clean and sober. When I got clean and sober, I thought to myself, you know, John, you've done everything that you like to do, and well, we're here in a halfway house. It's not working out. You're not. That's probably not the thing you need to be doing. So let's do what we don't want to do. Let's see what happens. Let's. Why not?
Yeah.
Let's see. Maybe it might work. 13 years later, I'm clean and sober. You know, and that's what it comes down to, is doing what you don't want to do. Because what I found out is that, yes, right now, as I'm doing it, no, I don't like it, and no, I don't like the way it feels, and I wish I was doing something else.
Right.
But what I found is that after, you know, and you're thinking, you know, all this stuff. Okay, I got to do this, got to do that, I got to. Oh no, oh that's right, I already knocked that out. That feeling is what I'm looking for.
Yeah, you got to look past the emotions. You got to bypass that emotional, that comfort, that feeling in the moment.
Comfort.
Yeah.
And you've really got to say, all right, which is more important?
Exactly.
My comfort and my feelings right now, or my future?
Exactly.
That's tough to do in the moment.
And
it
that's
really
what
is.
I've been trying to do, you know, as far as with the podcast, and just trying to just critique it, you know, just fine tune it, you know, just going through and looking at, you know, other people's shows and their content and things, and seeing what, you know, okay, well, that's pretty cool. That's not, you know, that's not whatever, you know, and just kind of, you know, just trying to mold the block.
Sure.
Polishing it up. Yeah.
You know what I mean, to be the best it could be. And just trying to focus on my guests.
Yeah.
And I said I'm just fine tuning like my procrastinator and things like that. And I wanted to, like I said, I wanted to try to cross this over into speaking. I would love to speak for high schools.
Gotcha.
You know, even colleges. You know, like I said, a lot of people can tell you what to do.
Yeah.
It's not a lot of people that can tell you what not to do. I can damn sure tell you what not to do. Trust me.
Because you've been there.
Oh,
Yeah.
I've been there.
Yeah.
I can tell you what not to do. I can tell you what you think is gonna work. Ain't gonna work.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's you know, and I know that experience, you know what I mean, it wasn't for nothing.
Yeah.
You know, that'd be ridiculous. Is to not utilize that, you know, and to try to give that to someone else and try to help someone not go down that road.
Yeah.
It's like, you know, I feel like I owe it.
Yeah.
You know. You know, if nobody's just me, I owe it to me
Yeah.
to do that, you know, but I owe a lot of people, you know what I mean? There's a lot of people that help me along the way.
Yeah.
And so
you had mentioned in the content of your podcast, you want to kind of highlight the positive things that are going on.
Oh yeah.
I love that. I feel like there is, what gets the clicks is not that. It's being negative. It's people love to. People they love that. So trying to go opposite of that warms my heart. I really enjoy that. So how do you go about doing it when that's not the easiest thing to do?
Yeah.
When it's very easy to be like, oh, let's highlight. Especially in, you know, the communities that it sounds like that you're working in, there is a lot of people that are just down and out.
How to turn the
how do you stay
interview.
positive? Yes, yes. How do you do that?
Man, you know what? When I was in college, I had a state trooper. He was a professor of mine. And he said, let me tell you something. If you're going in this business, and he said into this business, in which he was saying criminal justice field, period. But I'm saying, period. If you're living life, you know, maintain your integrity and your dignity. Now, if the Block podcast fails, and I mean fails, but there's nothing that you could say bad about me that I tried. I was a good human. I tried. I'm good with that. I'm cool with that. You know, versus me making it and hearing, well, he wouldn't have made it if he didn't, you know, do this and treated this person like this and this and this and did that to this person, right? I don't want to live like that. I don't want you know what I mean? I don't want my kids to know that's what I was.
Right.
No, I'd rather fail.
Yeah.
I'm good.
Yeah.
I'm cool. You know, I know how to land on my feet. I'm cool. You know, but I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna get in, you know, in the middle of a, you know, interview and be like, well, I heard your stepmother was alcoholic. What the? Whoa.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. No, you don't do that.
Yeah.
Now, if that's what we talk about to come on the show, then that's what the show's about. Okay. You know, but you don't ambush people like that, man. You live life with integrity, dignity. You know, something that when it's all said and done, no matter what, they can take from you. It doesn't matter what you did as far as financial or accomplishments. You know, in the end of it is who was he? What person was he?
Yeah.
And that's what means the most to me, more than anything.
That's really good.
Is that when I'm gone, that my kids can say he was a good dude. You know what I mean? And I'm cool.
Yeah.
You know, whether the block is Joe Rogan or whatever, you know, it don't exist no more. It doesn't matter.
I think too, man, in the moment, it's so easy to get focused on the here and now, and we've talked about that in this show too. The stuff that is happening in your life now is just fruit. That's the fruit of the tree.
Yeah.
You got a tree, you've got a root, and the fruit's gonna show what's going on in the root, and so many people look at the fruit in the moment.
Yeah.
But once that moment's over, whether the fruit was good fruit or bad fruit, they're gonna look back at the root and say, but his root was solid. His root was good.
Exactly.
Same thing vice versa too. If you have good fruit, at the end of the day, people are gonna trace that down to the root. And if you got a rotten root,
exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's really cool. I love that.
You know, and I spoke about it on one of my shows. You know, a friend of mine actually said it one day. She was like, "Man, I love your transparency," and I said, "Well, you know, you'll never bring anything up on me that I ain't already told you."
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because I know now what I didn't know when I was younger, and that is that, you know, my past can only hold me back as long as I keep holding on to it.
As long as you let it, yeah.
If I let go of the shit, then we're good.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So I don't, you know, my past is what created the foundation that I stand on now. So if you looking at me right now and you going, "Oh man, I like that dude, woo, well then you need to really look. I need you to dig deeper, because I want you to know why I'm this dude that you like.
Yeah.
I don't want you to just like me. I want you to know why. I want you to dig back. I want you to know. You know what I'm saying? I was arrested for this. I was arrested for that. I was, you know, on drugs. I did this. I want you to know all that. Because then when you look at me again, your appreciation is even more. So it'll never be a day where I try to deny who I was or what I've done. You know what I mean? It's just, that's the circumstances in which I came up in. That's how I thought to handle it at that time.
Yeah.
Was it always good? Oh no. You know, but you know, I've moved on. You know what I mean? And like I said, you know, if you made mistakes in your past and you're still living that way, well then you just, well, I don't know.
Yeah.
But if you've made mistakes in your past and now you've moved on and you're bettering your life and you're trying to take steps to do, you know what I mean, the right things, then that's what made you what you are.
Yeah.
Why are you ashamed of that? You wouldn't be this if it wasn't for that. So what are you hiding it for? You know, but I understand, you know, some people, you know, they, you know, embarrassment and things like that, I get it, but I just never, you know what I mean, if you want to know, I'll tell you.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not the same person anymore. So I'm okay telling you. You know, now if I was still doing it, then I might feel a little. You know, but I don't do those things no more.
Sure.
So, yeah, what do you want to know? You know?
Cool.
So you've mentioned goals, you've mentioned aspirations, you've mentioned you want to get more organized in the organizing your time, making sure you're giving your attention where it needs to go and focusing on that discipline. You've also touched on wanting to potentially speak and share your experiences with others. Is there anything else moving forward that you just have like a dream or a goal of?
Writing a book.
Writing a book?
Oh, yeah.
Let's hear about that.
Please.
Oh, yeah, man.
Yes.
I'm just, when I sit down, man, I tell stories, of, things I've done and all I've been through. People, they're just like, "Are you kidding me? Are you serious?" Like, yeah. And I just thought, I gotta write it down, man. I gotta, it's gotta be utilized. The story has to be utilized. There's like, countless times through my life that I can go back and I can just be like, there, should have gave up.
Yep.
All of them times. All of them. And trust me, from as I got older, they got worse. Those times got worse. So there's so many times where I could have just quit. But I didn't. I'm still here. I'm still trying to take this and make it even better.
Yeah.
It's and I told a friend of mine, I said, I'm always trying to take this back here and bring it up here and make this better.
Yeah.
And that's, that's my thing. And I'm always, trying to reach for the next thing, the podcast.
Yeah.
In the production studio, all that. And it's just, I don't know. I just know that, with work and will and faith, you can be something else.
Yeah.
And I know it.
Yeah.
It's not. I'm not speaking because I know someone.
No, you are that
I
someone.
am that
Yeah.
one.
Yeah.
And I'm curious. So, having the life that you've had and going through the things you've been through to get where you are today, what is at the center of that? What drives you to do that? Because a lot of people can know what you're saying is right. That you need to have a positive outlook, that you need to work to get better, that you need to learn from your mistakes. A lot of people know the right answers. What a lot of people don't have is the drive to get it done. What sparked that inside of you? Is there a person? Is there a play? Is there what is that's the center of everything that you've done to get you with that forward-looking, positive outlook on life, to get over the failures, to get to the successes?
It would be the center of that, man, would be the fact that, I was able to get clean and sober and start a new life. And see, for me, I looked at that. I took sobriety and I broke it down in a total different way, in a complete reality way. And my thing is that, dude, you've pretty much been reborn. This is pretty much a new life. Like, you can start now brand new. I'm talking credit, everything. You can start now brand new. You can be somebody totally different. And with that, I knew, that like I said, I owed people. People that had looked up to me, that helped me, and I owed myself. And with that, I wasn't going to let, I look at life like, you might hear me say this sometime, if you know me, I'll say F life. And the reason why I say that is because life is not my friend. Me and life are not friends. We're not going to be friends. We never have been friends. From the moment I was born, life has been trying to take me out. And life will win. I look at it like a war. Life will win. It'll win the war. Nobody lives forever. It'll get its thrill. I'll be gone. But wars are won by battles. I'm gonna win every battle. That's it. It's over. It's just I don't care. I don't care how bad I get to the point where I want to quit. Nope. Not gonna do it. You're not gonna win. Period. I allowed myself to do more damage to me than anybody else could ever do. I'm not doing it to myself anymore. I damn sure ain't letting you do it. That's that. And so that's that drive, man. I just ain't no stop. Ain't no quit. You know, I mean, if I overcame, you know, all the stuff I done been through, then trust me, you know what I mean. The something going wrong with the Block Podcast ain't gonna stop me. You know what I mean. That's just we'll flip that quick. It's just, you know, and that's part of your hustle.
I'm gonna go run through a brick wall real quick. Oh man.
So is there anything that you want to share outside the block, maybe inside the block, anything from your life, anything you want to share to the audience listening, with us, with anyone that you haven't been able to speak on yet? Is there anything that you have?
A lot of no, not really. A lot of people that know me, they kind of, a lot of them know my story. Not all the way through. Not in full detail like some. But the one thing, man, is that, you know, and I'll say this, and I say this for anybody, you know, is that everyone, you know, has something that they're good at, something that they like. And no matter how minute you may think that is to yourself, because like I said, 9 times out of 10, we're hardest on ourselves. So no matter how much you may think, oh, well, I can twist rubber bands into cool shapes and, you know, whatever. Well, to someone, that may be something. You know what I mean? That's your gift. It's your talent. You know what I mean? Don't waste it. If it's something that you really believe in, something that you really feel good about, do it. Don't say you can't start a business because you can't get a loan.
Yeah.
Don't do that. Don't short yourself like that. If it's something you really want to do, you'll do it. You know what I mean? Everything that, you know, I have a full, complete studio. You know, everything in it. You know, cameras, whatever you want, your Zoom recorders, whatever you want, I got them all. I got all that from going to work and clocking in.
Yeah.
No one, I don't have any loans. I don't have any rich uncles. I don't have any, you know what I mean? I went to work, I clocked in, I got a check, I saved my money, I bought this. I saved my money, I bought that. I saved my money, I bought this. If it's something you really want to do, man, do it. Don't allow the conventional ways to set what you want to do. You know, if the conventional ways says, well, you know, you get a loan and that's how you get a house. Okay, well, if you can't go the conventional way, then you don't just say, well, I guess no house for me, I'm done. No.
Yeah.
There's definitely more ways to skin a cat than one. I mean, you know, so don't allow your circumstances, man, to snatch away what you really like to do. You know, your circumstances may say, no, you can't do this. That ain't gonna happen.
Yeah.
Don't allow that. Stay with it. Stay with it up here.
Awesome. Well, plug the block. Tell us how we can get a hold of you to learn more about your show, maybe learn your story. How can we check out the block? Where do we, as people who want to watch the block, go?
Alrighty. You can go to the Block Podcast on YouTube, the Block Podcast on Facebook, the _block_cast on Instagram. Man, it's so many of them. It's Twitter and everything. It's like, oh my God.
Yeah.
www.theblockpodcast.com.
Cool.
Perfect.
Either there or YouTube. Really YouTube. If you go to YouTube and you go into any of my videos, there's a link for, merchandise, everything.
Awesome. We'll link all that too. Yeah.
Right on, man. I appreciate it.
Yep. Well, we want to thank you specifically for coming on the show. It's been really cool to learn about your story and your past and where you're going and what you're doing now. So thank you for coming on the show.
Thank you. Seriously, it was awesome.
Man, thank you guys for having me, man. I've truly enjoyed this.
It's a joy.
It was a great one.
It's a
It was
joy.
a great one.
Well,
fun, man.
thank you guys for watching. Thank you all for tuning in to another episode of the Hustle Indie Show. We look forward to seeing you in the next one. Stay tuned.
And I wish you guys the best.
What's up, guys? Thank you so much for tuning into this episode. We hope you enjoyed it with John Nelson of the Block Podcast. Just wanted to jump on here one last time and thank our sponsor for the week, Circle City Metalworks. If you guys have any metalworks needs, whether that's keychains, artwork, or industrial needs, make sure to hit them up, follow them on social media, visit their website. Whatever it is that you need metalworks, they can do it. Their motto is, if you can dream it, we can make it. So make sure you guys hit them up, show them some love. Thank you guys for listening, and we'll see you in the next episode.